Welcome to Byte with AC3, your go-to podcast for all things tech and innovation. Whether you're a tech pro or just curious about the digital world, we've got you covered.
Welcome to Byte with AC3. This is AC3's own podcast series, and we've had a few episodes so far, but we're about to have the best one yet, I reckon.
Yeah, I think so too.
But before we do that, we should probably tell everyone who we are. I'll start by introducing myself. So my name is Claudia. I'm the General Manager of Transformation at AC3. Big title, lots of work that goes behind the scenes in front of the scenes as well, to make things happen. It involves a lot of changing some of our business processes, how the teams work, some of our technology. And more recently, which is like one of the most exciting things for me, it's about bringing two companies together as well as a result of an acquisition. So that's something I'm really looking forward to. But let's get into that a bit later.
Well, I'll go now. So I'm Dan Marsh. I lead up the ServiceNow practice at AC3. I'm excited to be talking about ServiceNow in the context of what we do for AC3, but also for our customers.
This must be the first time you're excited to talk about ServiceNow, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. I often get asked if I work for ServiceNow, so I'm a big evangelist of the product. I love what it does for organizations, what it does to help underpin the way in which we work. And I just feel very privileged to lead an amazing team that has gone from strength to strength over the last 5-6 years that I've been here at AC3. And it's nice to be here talking about it with you. I started my journey, you brought me into AC3, so it's kind of full circle, and you've been along.
6 years, no takebacks, right?
No takebacks, no takebacks.
Okay,
You've been stuck with me. But yeah, it's really exciting to really just talk about, what we do for our customers, and really the journey that, if I think about 6 years in the context of ServiceNow, there's a lot of water that goes under the bridge in that time from a product perspective, but also as a partner, we've been evolving in tandem with ServiceNow as they've evolved as well.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we started our partnership with ServiceNow. Well, the relationship really started as we brought them in as a vendor, for our internal tool, our internal systems. Definitely 10 years ago. We signed the contract, I think, to buy ServiceNow, the product, probably in 2014, and went live in 2015. And when you speak about the journey, 10 years is a very long time for a company that's been on such an accelerated growth trajectory as ServiceNow. We thought back in 2015 that was going to be that was the best tool ever back then. And it's kind of gone from strength to strength since then. And we've kept it. The product, we've done so much with it, and it's become so essential to our business. It's really helped us grow up in a lot of ways. Just because of its capability and its potential as well. But over and above that, even though the partnership with ServiceNow started as kind of a vendor procurement relationship, it evolved soon after that into a true partnership. And that's part of the exciting thing, the fact that evolved into also us co-investing and forming a ServiceNow practice, which you lead up, and very excited to talk about as well. And that's just up until now, their vision is to become the defining enterprise software company of the 21st century, which, brings me, tingles in terms of what that was going to look like moving forward. But instead of just me talking about sort of ServiceNow and the history in the past, really keen to hear from you about the practice and some of the things that we've done with ServiceNow, but more importantly, for our customers.
Yeah, God, what a ride. I think you're right. ServiceNow has pushed, as a product, has helped us to be better because it has enabled us to really transform the way in which we work. Their go-to-market strategy and deploying new capability all the time has just really made us think differently around the problems that we can solve in the product. But yeah, if I think back when, 2019 when I joined, prior to that, ServiceNow as a capability.
Prior to the world changing.
ServiceNow was part of our service management capability as a business. So it's been an honor, steering the ship up until this point. Also with your guidance, I feel like every challenge we've had to overcome, we've solved it together. But yeah, I think like most customers that we've been on this journey, most start out in the ITSM space, but probably the most amazing thing for our team was, like most partners, we started off primarily just supporting ITSM. But right now we're in a position where there aren't too many capabilities that we haven't implemented. And, the product is so scalable. So I think what ServiceNow have done around creating a centralized data model that kind of extends across every capability. There's kind of like this nucleus that really guides design. But yeah,
that's really been their strength and their true differentiator as a product.
Yeah,
Sure.
I think there's probably been some hard lessons learned along the way, right?
Yeah.
So I think with that mantra of kind of, acquiring lots of organizations and bringing capability in, there was a couple that were kind of what seemed like they were stitched together, and then they've kind of done the rebuild and brought them in. And it was, I think, primarily due to what were happening in the market.
Yeah.
I think business continuity management was one. They acquired a product, and then now it's been redesigned.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I guess in terms of the journey, I think we went from delivering just point solutions for our customers back in the day to now delivering, significant transformation for our customers. And I think the public sector for us has really been such a special place, really helping our customers transform and navigate complex machinery of government change. Like, this is part of AC3's DNA.
Yeah.
So I think for me, one of the most rewarding things has been, AC3 being born in government and being on the journey with, the public sector as they've reorganized and, merged departments, demerged and kind of chop and change a lot. We've been able to kind of bring, as ServiceNow has become more prominent, been able to take customers on that journey as well.
Yeah, that's a really interesting observation, Dan. That's true. Our customers used to come to us and just ask us to do point implementations, point solutions, and now they're coming at us with very complex business challenges. When we talk about machinery of government change, it's kind of like a merger and acquisition type activity, but inside of government instead of private sector. It's no different. You've got government departments that have to come together, that are sometimes very different in the nature of what they do. That's even probably more complex than the corporate side of it. In a corporate world, you might have two insurance companies who will come together, but the business that they're in is insurance. Yeah. Whereas in government, even though they're in the business of government, which sounds like a funny term, sometimes because of politics, different government departments who on the surface don't seem to provide similar services become part of the same portfolio and have to come together and become one organization. I'm not going to name names because I don't want to upset our customers, but you can think of quite a few in in both state government, federal government, and even in New Zealand, our neighbours in New Zealand doing something similar. And those customers, they're now seeing ServiceNow as a tool that is very much part of the organizational change management and central to consolidating operations, not just a point IT system, which is so exciting. Can you give us some examples of some of the things that we've done in that space, some of the projects? Yeah,
I think probably the one thing that we truly specialize in now is like platform consolidation. Yeah. I think, if you think about machinery of government change and you've got different agencies and departments utilizing different ITSM tools, after a machinery of government change, you've got to bring it together, unify processes, ways of working, centralized portal to drive engagement. In the New South Wales public sector, we've had the privilege of supporting some major agencies to consolidate and rationalize tech. Yeah. And quite often, they're not just single streams of work. It's not just bringing together an ITSM tool. It's process redesign. It's trying to create a one front door experience so that all engagement into the business can really support the flow of work. I think probably we've done some pretty incredible work, but the platform consolidations are the big complex pieces of work. But some of the point solutions that we've been able to do, if I talk about service portal experience, most organizations are on a journey at the moment to try and create a consumer grade experience. So what we know and love dealing with, in our day-to-day at home, trying to create that same experience when employees are engaging to get work done. How do we remove the human glue in delivery, create that amazing experience? We've done some really amazing portal transformation work where we're trying to enable employees to be able to get more of what they need through a single interface. So and a lot of that comes down to integrated platforms and systems, so we can surface different types of information to an employee, so they've only got one place to go. I think ServiceNow have done an incredible job enabling that one front door approach, through strategic partnerships with Microsoft as an example, being able to integrate Employee Center into Microsoft Teams so that where people are collaborating, they can also access the portal without needing to go to a browser. Like, that's such a big win.
Yeah, that's true. I've got to say, about the service portal and that employee experience, when you talk about large-scale software implementations, something like a service portal is really the experience layer of an employee of how effective an integration is.
100%.
Because they're not seeing all the hard work that's happening behind the scenes. They're not seeing a catalog rationalization project of going from 1,000 catalog items to 400. All they're seeing is one day they receive an email and they say, log in to this brand new blah, blah, blah branded portal. And they're like, okay, moment of truth. Is this going to be or is this going to be great?
Yeah.
And usually you have, and unfortunately people make their first impressions based on the look and feel, first and foremost.
Always.
And then over time, over how usable and useful something is. And the look and feel, there's only so much you can do to make things branded, looking sharp or whatever. But the lasting experience, and when people actually go back to that portal, is whether it's actually useful and usable. Yep. And there's a lot of heavy lifting that your team and our customer, there's such a partnership thing to get it right, that you guys do to actually make it happen.
Yeah, and you touch on a pretty amazing point there, Claude, around the architecture and design aspects of what go into a rationalization, enabling a centralized portal and a centralized gateway for, a large user base, sometimes 30,000 people that are working for a government agency, or 90,000 people working for a government agency. We're talking huge volumes of people.
Large scale, yeah.
Huge scale. That you need to be able to make quick decisions, but also decisions that balance security, user experience, time is often a big factor, so how do we go through an interim, a phased approach to kind of
that's right, because you've done some of that stuff in weeks and months, not years.
Not years, yeah, exactly right. But yeah, probably one thing that I'm really proud of is that we've been charged and, had the pleasure of working with some of our customers through major transformation. We've had to learn and build capability along the way, and the one thing I'm really proud of is the quality of the thought leadership that comes from the team. There's a lot of advisory, but also being right there side by side with the customer through these transformations, because it's not easy.
True.
And I think this is where our culture shines through a lot in these transformations. It's there's a lot of trust that goes into us in these transformations. But if I talk about, you talked a bit before around, what are some of the other stuff that we've done. I think some of the most rewarding ones that we've done so far have been very much, we're working with some financial services organisations that have got big compliance requirements set by APRA. So helping to meet, whether it be around information security or business continuity, CPS 234, 230, 235, helping our customers to be able to meet their obligations so that they are, they're operating to a high standard. And ServiceNow is at the nucleus of being able to demonstrate to auditors.
Yeah, it's funny. It starts with those kind of APRA-regulated customers choosing ServiceNow because they're in crisis mode. They need to potentially catch up to certain APRA regulations. And APRA, they spit them out so regularly for good reason. Their regulation keeps changing, keeps advancing, keeps becoming more stringent on financial services and insurance institutes. And some of our customers, past, present, maybe future as well, feel that they've caught on the hop. So they choose ServiceNow because they can see, like they have other customer case studies of how well ServiceNow has served those FSI type customers, and they're like, okay, yeah, let's buy this because it's going to help us. And what they realize is after they go live, it's like, whoa, okay, we've gone from catch-up mode to, oh wow, okay, now we need to mature our business processes. And you've seen some of those aha moments, haven't you?
Yeah, it's one of the things that I enjoy most about my role is selling the art of the possible, and a lot of it is
you do it well, man.
you go in, and quite often you talk about a point solution at times, but then as the conversations progress, being able to show a customer that fewer better systems is actually a good thing, where you can have more of the workforce collaborating, engaging, you can meet your audit requirements, your compliance requirements, and I just love the aha moments. It's I love when we've got on the other side, on the customer side, a strong evangelist that sees it too.
That makes such a big difference, doesn't it?
It really does. It's important. If you're a customer that you're making, I put this analogy, you're buying a Ferrari, but you don't want to you want to maximize the use of the Ferrari and all the features that it has. You don't want to buy the Ferrari, but then feel like you're driving around in a Toyota Camry, nothing against Camrys, by the way.
So you need the Ferrari and the track to really get the true potential.
And the right driver,
yeah.
and
yeah, I guess so. Watch me crash a Ferrari in less than 5 seconds.
yeah, exactly right. But I think, if I think about how we've continued to evolve as well, we started our journey in the technology workflows. We're doing more around line of business transformation and supporting that enterprise service management. Talk about aha moments, like seeing the true potential of, there's still, it's unfortunate, but it's the reality. A lot of organizations are still working out of email and on PDF forms, and they don't know what the potential is to be truly digitized. We've gone from technology to employee workflows to customer workflows and been able to work with and collaborate with a lot of departments across an organization. But one area that we are, I would say that we're really hitting our strides in at the moment is around, after you've had ServiceNow for a while and there's a decision to optimize, how do we, analyze this data in such a way to help us prioritize how do we optimize and make our workforce more efficient, give back cost savings, so that we can get people to work on more meaningful work. We've delivered some exceptional outcomes in the public sector recently for one of our customers in New Zealand, where over the course of 3 months, after doing a platform consolidation, we went through an optimization phase, and over a short period of 3 months, we were able to save $2 to $3 million in effort by optimizing workflows and on the back of a big data analysis exercise. They're really rewarding, those types of experiences, especially in the public sector, because that money saved goes to citizen services or enables support personnel to do more meaningful work that's high value.
Love it, love it. I've got to say, as someone who kind of wears the ServiceNow platform owner inside of our business, you reminded me of something which I think is very important to flag. We spoke about how ServiceNow can help with that transformation, how it can save people time through optimization and efficiency. But the other thing as well is having ServiceNow is kind of like being in a relationship. It's not set and forget. You don't go official and then everything just happens, right? You have to put in some effort. You have to nurture. You do have to make sure that the data quality in ServiceNow is maintained, because once you start lowering your standards around what data you let into the tool, I'm now talking about ServiceNow, not relationships. But once you start, lowering your standards, then the data becomes less useful, less powerful, and over time, it gets mistrusted. So to maintain data quality, it means you have to make sure that you're following the right business processes and you're not kind of letting too many things slip and slide.
I couldn't agree more. And I think, we're moving into an era, Gen AI is kind of the front and center. I'm loath to say it, but the reality is we're in this wave right now and things are about to change. And I think you're right, the quality of your data is the linchpin of your automation objectives and the journey you want to go on.
And the insights you can derive from the platform.
And the reporting insights, 100%. And I think we've organically been helping customers around their CMDB data quality, and completeness, and the trust that architects have in CMDB data sets, or helping service owners and service management operations leads and service directors to focus on ticket quality and hygiene, so that, the reality is the more that you focus on the foundational elements now around ticket quality, knowledge quality, CMDB completeness, when it comes to adopting these future state capabilities, your ability to automate goes up exponentially. The quality of an AI solution and being able to make an impact on your organization goes up significantly as well.
Nice one. I can probably anticipate the answer, but I'm going to ask you the question anyway. Product-wise, ServiceNow as a company, they keep innovating, they keep adding more and more functionality. What are you most excited about in terms of features and functionality in the platform itself?
I think there's probably three. For me, there's probably three key areas. I'll start off with the easy one because the second one kind of merged together. But
the answer was all of it.
Yeah, right? No, all of it. I'm excited by it all. It's my job to care about all of it. But if I think
I love all my children.
I love all of it. First off, I love the fact that there's an industry alignment approach coming into the platform.
Yeah.
I think we've kind of process-wise to digitize functions within a business is great, but when you start to think about healthcare or the public sector and those bespoke industry-specific workflows and processes, which are cumbersome and at times disjointed and fragmented, there's so much potential to kind of go deeper into an organization to bring more people into ServiceNow as a capability. So we've had the privilege of working in the healthcare and life sciences capability, and it's quite fascinating. The potential that it's going to open up, not just for IT, but if I think about clinical solutions, if in that healthcare capability, being able to make hospitals run more effectively, that's just one industry.
The ramifications are huge.
Ramifications are massive. If you think about, I'll touch on one thing because it came up in the transformation we worked on, but clinical device management. If you think about a hospital and the amount of devices that are in there, whether it be from an operating theatre, a ward, even just supporting the building as a whole to make sure that clinical devices are running effectively. There is so much there, but quite often they're not housed in a single repository. So being able to bring that in there along with your the service management elements to deliver better patient outcomes, that's just one simple use case. But
it's treating operational technology as just technology and enterprise technology, really, and applying all those enterprise service management standards and life
100%.
cycles to it.
Yeah, 100%. And so the potential is massive from an industry standpoint. And I'm glad that we got to kind of dip our toe in the water there around that industry, industry alignment. Yeah, that was really nice. But if I think about, the Gen AI capabilities and agentic AI now assists from a ServiceNow platform perspective, whilst adoption, is increasing, it's a gradual increase. I think there's a reason for that in terms of, it's kind of like this last 12 months, organizations have just gone, all right, the big end of town in terms of software players are now doubling down on Gen AI. It's here, and now organizations have had to go through, how do we create governance models, architectural review frameworks, policies, how do we assess this? Yeah, the cyber side. It's kind of been this year of almost preparing, I feel, for a lot of organizations.
Also getting our heads, I think a lot of our customers are getting their heads around, even us, getting our heads around how to take something from consumer world, like we've all played around with ChatGPT with varying degrees of success. Yep. But that varying degrees of success, how do you translate that to a corporate environment and not miss the mark? Because the stakes are higher in a corporate landscape.
100%.
You don't want to get it wrong in a corporate landscape. You don't want a lawyer, for example, seeking advice from Gen AI and then providing the wrong advice to clients and so on and so forth. Or in the healthcare space, there could be, significant loss of life type ramifications there.
And also, I think
ServiceNow are bringing their own. Oh, sorry, they already have it, don't they?
They have it.
Yeah.
So I'll just touch on that point. Patient data, like you talk about the use case around Gen AI and data being mishandled or otherwise. being able to build comfort in these solutions is key.
Yeah.
But yeah, you're right. ServiceNow they've already had a lot of AI and machine learning type capabilities.
They've been investing heavy in that space for a while, but I think they've now really brought it to the surface, haven't they?
Well, yeah. Now Assist, is quite, was really the game changer over recent releases.
Yeah.
And the use cases are continuing to expand literally across the whole product. I don't think there's a single module now that doesn't have Now Assist kind of baked in some way. And every release is maturing. But I think, so for me, the potential around Now Assist, and if I think about for AC3, we've got technology partnerships galore. We're talking about AWS and Microsoft and cybersecurity tooling and whatever it be. For us as a technology provider, we've got the ability to bring, and HPE, you're right, bringing all of these AI capabilities that these vendors have. Nice. And how do we, bring together a tech ecosystem and solutions that deliver, bespoke outcomes is really, I see a lot of great potential there for us.
Love it. And you said you had 3 things. So what's your third?
Well, the other one is actually kind of an extension of the Now Assist Gen AI capabilities, but it's the agentic AI type, where, I saw a video earlier today even where you've got a bot, an agent in ServiceNow calling it a customer that's logged a ticket about a VPN issue, and then manages the conversation on a call, advises the customer that there is another issue at an organizational level, but the agent will auto log an incident for that person that called automatically end to end. So it was able to query the database, there's an existing issue, auto log an incident. And so you've got the ability now to, we're moving to a place where from a service desk standpoint, you can supplement your workforce with agents, like AI-driven agents, and that's where the journey is kind of going. So if you think about higher value tasks, employees doing more meaningful work, it's an enabler for that.
I love that you use the word supplement. So these types of features and functionalities are not about replacing people.
100%.
It's about replacing the boring stuff that people do. The repetitive, like the same old, this is my 10th password reset of the day. And also, it's about making sure that the humans that are there are using Gen AI as a tool, just like they use a computer as a tool, like they use the internet as a tool. It's just another tool. And then they can focus on the higher value work, the stuff that they need to use their judgment, their brain, their intellect, and many other things, their empathy, their humanity,
100%.
To actually do their work.
Yeah.
That's pretty exciting, because I was starting to get scared about what you said. But
yeah.
When you said supplement, I thought about it and I'm like, yeah, actually it's about the positive outlook.
100%. And I think everything that we're moving towards, there needs to be guardrails wrapped around anything that we're doing here. Cybersecurity is something that's going to be very prevalent wrapped around all of these solutions. But yeah, the future is bright. There's a lot of potential there.
Love it. Speaking of bright futures, I touched on at the beginning that one of my responsibilities is to integrate 2 businesses together. And what I'm excited about, and I know you and I have spoken about this, it's something that you're, giddy about in many, many, many ways, is the acquisition of JDS. For those of you who don't know, JDS have some pretty amazing capabilities in a few different areas. And one of those is ServiceNow. And our intention is to bring those capabilities together, both AC3 and JDS, in that ServiceNow space. And I think together we will become the largest locally owned and operated ServiceNow partner. So not a global, not an offshore. We are local. By the way, we count New Zealand as onshore. They're just our neighbours across the ditch. So that's pretty exciting stuff, isn't it, Dan?
Yeah. It's a lot. I'm so excited. I can barely get the words out. I think the reality for us is, we're very unique now in that we are truly local. Most of our competitors aren't, and so with a greater focus of on data sovereignty and the like, and the quality of our local resourcing, JDS is really going to bring extend our capability further and together we will, deliver better outcomes for our customers.
Love it. We're going to go wider and deeper, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, and now we get to work through all the fun stuff of bringing the two, culture-led organisations together. And what I think probably the most exciting thing is that, prior to the Chrissy break, we had we had to get together. They rocked up to our office. We had, some drinks and some food and celebrated just prior to the break.
All important things.
All the important things.
Involve drinks and food.
But yeah, it was amazing, just the synergy. I think that's the thing I'm most excited about is that, it feels like it should be harder than what it is. And I think that's the good thing. I'm saying that's a positive thing. It's like this, we're so similar.
Look, as someone who can see all the spinning plates and who's got to keep them all spinning at the same time, there's a lot involved. But you're right, the cultural alignment is such a great piece, and it is going to make things so much easier in the scheme of things. So really looking forward to that one.
100%. And I don't know, Claudia, is there anything else that you want to particularly cover off today? I think we've kind of bottomed out most of the conversation. So
you and I can talk we can talk for hours. What's our PB in terms of like Teams call? I think we once on a 7-hour call.
Yeah, we've. I think there's actually been some. If you think about some BAFO responses and pricing situations where we've been on there and strategy sessions that have been hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, so maybe to be kind to our audience, we'll leave it at that. But as always, we're happy to chat to different people about anything that we spoke about today, about anything in particular. You and I both are very similar in that sense. We love everything ServiceNow is about. We love the power and potential of the product and the company as well, the partnership side of it. And we can literally talk about it all day, but maybe we shouldn't.
Yeah. So I guess just to kind of recap, we've kind of covered off ServiceNow as a product, where we play, and I guess the journey that we've kind of been on, talked about some of the new capabilities, but also the potential that we see for AC3 partnering with JDS, coming together with JDS.
And don't forget some of the exciting work we've done with customers.
And the exciting work we've done with customers. But yeah, I know we've just come into 2025, so really excited about
bring it on.
What lies ahead. So yeah, hope you guys can catch up, enjoyed the chat, but also can catch up with us with the next Byte with AC3 podcasts.
Don't forget to subscribe.
Thanks for tuning in to Byte with AC3. Don't forget to subscribe for future episodes. We'll keep bringing you valuable insights and stories from the tech world. For more details, visit us at ac3.com.au or ac3.co.nz. Bye-bye!